Hey everybody, Ace of Trades here. Maybe jumping into a trade here off this measured move up, and then we're right off a trend line. So let's see if this gives us something here. See if this prints anything good. Do I like that? Uh, it's probably a good trade. I'm a little sketchy on it because we didn't close into the measured move, but this is right off the high, and the NQ has just made another leg up. So it's probably a good trade, but this is still wanting to push up. Maybe we'll get like a double 2-bar matching high that'll close back down here, and that would be nice to have that. The other thing that's a concern is this is a very, very thin 2 legs. So this looks like it wants to come down though. What I mean by thin 2 legs. So you can see that this is not, you could easily have a larger channel there. I feel like because of this trend line and because you have exactly 2 legs, that it's probably 2 legs. That's probably going to go now. So I missed that. But I didn't like it enough. So usually, when you have something that's kind of iffy and you've taken on some risk there, it's almost pushed. Usually, now this is just going to drop down. It won't give you something else to get in on. But again, like I said, it's a very thin 2 legs. And so the bulls may be thinking that they're going to try to push it up off this EMA. If I had to guess, though, I'd say we're probably going to go lower because this is, I mean, we've been fitting, we've been making moves down, fitting the whole time. Let's just see what happens here, though. This is it's trying to push up again. So, I mean, that's what I'm talking about when I say about this is kind of thin. It may try to hold that, but I would say it's probably going to go down. But it looks like the bulls are trying to turn this into an uptrend. And also this low, since we broke out of this low from yesterday, this has not been tested, which is another issue I have with taking this here, because we haven't tested this level once we pushed through it. Um, and then earlier today, we had this trend down. I was looking for a trade in here, but of course the thing doesn't set up. You just get you get these 2 measured legs, but it ends in a bull bar. So usually what you like to see is you like to see this signal bar be like a red bar that has a nice close. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. This is very thin. So they could be trying to turn this into a channel. Excuse me. See, even if you have like, so that trade got stopped out, and that's why I kind of stayed out of it. I was concerned about this. And sometimes this may even be turning into a break. This little trend up may be turning into a break. I would not be shocked at all if we still tested these lows. And maybe this is this whole thing then. Oops, I don't want to do that. This whole thing then becomes one leg. But anyway, I was looking for an entry like up in here when we made we made the measured move on the second leg, testing these lows here, but nothing's set up. So you just got this bull bar that then shut down. So now you could start drawing a trend off this like that. But if you would have got a entry high enough up here, this doesn't, what do I say? You could still have room to that trend line to get out. The other thing is, like I've been talking about in other videos, these wider channels, sometimes you can get burned on these wider channels. And I thought possibly because we already had one leg down, two legs down, and we tried to reverse off these lows here and ended up forming what ended up looking like a nice trend, or not trend, but resistance off this slanted trend line. And then we pushed down and hit it again and pushed back down and ended up getting what looks like the bottom of the trend line. Sometimes when you get, when it makes these legs down, but then just continues to go down, like I was talking about yesterday, sometimes you are actually forming a wider channel. But the one that's dangerous is when you when you get two legs down like this, and then, like I said yesterday, what people will start doing is they'll start drawing something like this, okay? And they'll drag it down here, right? And because you are dealing with measured legs and uniformity, it appears to like you're getting a channel. Let me slide this over. And then what they'll do is this didn't trigger, but some people would see this as resistance, this hitting resistance, and they would, drop a sell order there, throw their stop right there, and it would just kind of trip them in, stop them out, because it's just two legs down. It's not a wider channel. So now 8 minutes in, and this ended up not working out. Now let me point out this other thing too, is that some people will try to take these as like these reversals off the EMA. They'll try to take these as um, prices like going in the other direction, like there's people call this a reversal pattern, but it's not really. It's just when you're taking reversals that are still within a drawable trend like this is super dangerous, because what you're counting on is this trend continuing to go up. And sometimes, this is a great example, sometimes what will happen is this trend will break on you, because what you're taking a reversal that's in a trend moving up. So I see that there's a technical entry there. I wouldn't count that. This to me looks like more like a first attempt, a second attempt, and what people will do is okay, this is going to reverse, so they'll throw their buy order right here, and who knows how many points they go for. But you can see what happened is you're within a very tight trend. So what happened is this price came up here, and depending on the number of points you're going for, maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't. But you bounced right off the other side of that trend line. And what's happening now is this uptrend is breaking, and this whole downtrend just broke right here. So chances are the bigger pattern is going to defeat the smaller pattern. This may just run down. It may find some support here or something, get another bounce of a second leg, and then make the new low. But yeah, this is not a place to go long. And some people will take that for a very small win, and they'll think they had a good trade there, and it's really not. So Anyway, kind of just started talking about different things because I was looking to potentially take a trade. But kept me out of it is this is super thin and you can form a trend going the other way. So you're actually kind of trapping yourself. And that's, when I started talking about at the beginning, um, that's what happened there. I'll stay in this a little bit longer because if this goes and makes a new low, I'm just going to stop the video because then everything kind of resets. The trend, this trend has broken and made a new low. So at that point, anything could happen. Prices could keep just running down or overshoot this and then start reversing. But what we're looking for here is, I originally started to try to draw this off here. On the top, it fits decently, but on the bottom, it doesn't fit. And then when, you draw it off here, it fits real nice. And so that's what kind of had me looking at this area. So let's just take a couple minutes here and see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised here if market started slowing down as we get into 1 o'clock and after because of the FOMC news coming up. That's a shame. That's the kind of thing I was looking for. Is I was looking for 2 legs to get in with a retest, but this is just, this has been quite a, sorry, had a timer again, quite a few days that this is just not cooperating, giving the setup entries. So maybe we'll get lucky here, and maybe this will form a second leg up, and we can, get a secondary nice kind of selling pressure come in, and then we can get an entry. We'll see. But this channel is big enough that you may very well get another leg if some buying comes in here before we get to the bottom. If you get, say it comes in here, and if you get a nice run up and then some selling comes in, boy, that would be a good place to get in and definitely try to take a runner at least to the lows here. So this video might drag out for a little bit more time here because of our potential to get something. How about this? I'm gonna pause this, and if we get something, I'll start it up and let you know. Okay, guys, I'm gonna stop this here shortly. I wanted to show you something though because here we got this break, and we've essentially, I know we're like, we could be creating a double bottom here, but we've essentially retested this low. So I'm not going to be looking for anything else. It may spring up, but sometimes what'll happen is this will just be like a double bottom, and you'll be looking for like the second leg, and you'll just get like trapped. It may reverse here. You'd be looking for is maybe for this to like come up here and make a lower high. If you were to take a short at this point. But I want to show you this on what I was kind of expecting, how this worked on NQ. You can see, look at this nice trend working down, and then you get this one leg up, second measured leg up, and right there, and I'll show you how this is different on NQ than ES. Right, so here's where your trend is. Okay, so if you were going to get trapped or something, it would be like here off this bar. Maybe you'd draw something like that, and maybe it would print like, snap down and then push up. But what happens is this little trend itself gets broken, makes a new high, and then from there you get the second leg. And once it hits that measured move, sellers come in. Right there would have been a good entry. I wasn't watching NQ though. I was watching ES, and so you could take in whatever, take your one, however you'd want to do it. I usually would go for like 5-10 points with a core position, And then this would have been nice to let this run 10, 20, 30, a 40 point runner, even if you're only using one contract, is like trying to do my 80 point or $800. So, but that's kind of what I was looking for on ES, but it just didn't set up. And look, even if you would say, even if you draw this, like you're afraid of this as a wider channel, okay, before you get down to that channel, you've got quite a bit of room here, where you can take some profit before it would hit this and bounce if this were a wider channel that was going to work up like this. Okay. So I mean, that's the kind of stuff that I'm looking for when I'm looking for those two-legged corrections. And so hopefully that was a nice teaching point that I could use anyway, and you found some value in it. So I'll stop this here now at 16 some odd minutes, and I'll see you in the next video.